What's going on, Tamers? It's me, East, soon to be going to the West. Although, do we consider Europe the West? They're more essential if anything, right? Basically what I want to say is good news and bad news. Let's start with the veggies first, and that is no meta report next week. Because I'm going to be in a different country away from my PC recording setup, not going to be able to record much of anything. Although I will do my best, the good news here, to record a bunch of videos before I leave, so we've got something to fill the gap while I'm gone. One last thing, if you're living in Italy and you know about the locals in Rome or Naples, hit your boy up in the comments below. I'm trying to find some games. We're in our second week of the post-ban environment for the BT18 Element Successor set, and the first week was a bit of a free-for-all, with Purple Hybrid actually taking top spots thanks to some really cool innovations. If you haven't seen that video, I definitely recommend you check it out. But this week was the start of the store qualifiers for the World Championships later next year, as well as the release of the dual color memory boost cards in Japan. And while I think a lot of players think that blue decks are still poised to do very well, this week's results might surprise you. That being said, let's take a look at some event results, a couple of key takeaways, and a close look at some of the decks that topped over the course of the past week. And so diving into last week's results, Lugomon has emerged as a clear favorite for purple decks defying blue supremacy. One of the reasons here might actually just be a meta call, where right now so many players are using the purple hybrid deck, using the Imperialdramon cards to mill your opponent's deck to some degree. This kind of does Lugomon's work for them. And as a result, a deck in Lugomon that's already pretty fast now becomes even faster. Though I will say that followed by our Purple Kangs in Lugomon and the Purple Hybrid, a lot of the blue decks are still doing quite well. Things like Imperialdramon, Mirage Galgamon, who's doing incredibly well in some of the larger events, as well as Ancient Garurumon. Another surprise here was actually Phoenixmon, and honestly, if you ask me why, I can't really give you an answer. It's there, I suppose. I'm not really sure here why that's the case. Shifting gears for a moment though, and taking a look at some of the lower performers here, it really seems like Magnamon has been normalized with the hit to yellow vaccine, where the blue Magnamon armor deck only sees a single win this past week. And finally, moving away from some of the pre-ban staples that we saw before, the post-ban environment sees players still being really creative, with decks like Leviamon popping up, as well as Puppet Aggro, which was made a feature at my locals this week. So taking a look at some of the decks that topped last week, I of course wanted to cover Lugomon, but even among Lugomon decks, this build is pretty special because it was built by Misao, the Japanese player who took 3rd place at the 2022 World Championships. The level 2s in the deck, the Digi-Eggs, are actually covered by the nameplate here, but I've confirmed that these are the BT6 Tsunomon. Misao decides to forego the regular SOC package in favor of the Dark Animals, which we haven't really seen since like BT14 or 15. He also combines this with the X Antibody Protoform option card, which allows him to recover cards from his stack and heal whenever his stack would be destroyed. This means that he can be a bit more aggressive on board without fear of losing his key pieces when his stack is destroyed. The main differences for this deck come at the level 4s and the level 5s. The level 4s here feature the level 4 Doberman X Antibody, who's a way to cycle cards and draw, as well as get some nice inheritance effects with Memory +1, alongside things like the level 5 Cerberusmon, who's going to give one of your Digimon Rush whenever they're played by an effect, which is incredibly strong, especially in this deck. And you can combo that in tandem with the Cerberusmon X Antibody, who just lets you play a level 3 down for free. Because the deck does have so many discard options, as well as Purple Mill being so powerful right now, the Cerberusmon is also really useful just because he can allow you to get cards back from the trash if they were milled out of the deck and you need them, or you had to discard it earlier on and you found yourself needing it then. With all the memory that you're going to be getting back from your level 3s and level 4s and things like the Lugomon, as well as the Doberman X Antibody and the Lugarmon, the chance that you get to keep your turn whenever you go into your Fender Lugomon is higher. And then you can use his effect to attack, you can play the Kazuchimon, you can attack with your level 3 that you played from the Cerberusmon X's effect, you can unsuspend the Lugomon, he can attack again, and then if you have the Fender Lugomon Takemi Kazuchi in hand, you can Joggers from there, and you just win the game. That's an OTK. So if you're looking for a champion level deck that's a little bit out of the box, definitely give this version a try. So the next deck we're going to take a look at is going to be Imperialdramon, and oh my god, I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. What is this abomination to the eyes? From this like weird blue filter only on like the left half of the image to the same cards in the deck being split up, like why is the Dragon mode and the Imperialdramon same cards just on completely different sides? There's so much I hate about this picture, oh my god. So please save me. Let's recreate this thing. So now that we're no longer having our eyes disrespected, the reason that I actually chose this list is because it's one of the first ones that feature one of the new dual color memory boost cards, this one being the Jade Memory Boost, which lets you search out the top 3 cards of your deck and grab either a blue or green Digimon. And honestly, this slots in perfectly to Imperialdramon because it gives the deck everything it wants, either more search or more memory to play with. That memory from the delay effect lets you either in later turns play more level 3s to dig through your deck even further, Or if you have your level 5 Imperialdramon on board, you can go into your Imperialdramon and still keep turn. Taking a look at some of the cards in the deck though, one change that I would like to see here is maybe instead of including the 2 copies of the promo Vmon, instead include copies of I think the BT18 Vmon, who gives you plus 2000 in inheritance, which is really useful in getting over big walls like Magnamon and Mother Shoto. With the addition of the Jade Memory Boost option card, this deck is also one of the first ones that I've seen run the BT17 Davis and Kin Tamer, which essentially acts as like a stopgap for Partition, where with Partition you get the 2 Digimon if they're deleted outside of battle. This one gives you at least 1 Digimon if it's deleted by battle. This is also a nice measure if you don't have the option card Return to the Primogenitor already on board. Outside of these new cards though, the deck is still pretty straightforward. You've got all your level 4 pieces to go into your level 5 Imperialdramons, go into your either Dragon modes or Fighter modes, and then close out the game either with an Omnimon, or if things go sideways, you got the Paladin mode Ace as well. And so with these new memory boosts that can search and give memory in a deck that's already incredibly memory efficient, this seems like a great choice for Imperialdramon. Each week, I allow my champion level and higher YouTube members to vote on decks they'd like to see featured in these meta report videos, and this week nearly half of them voted to see Puppet Aggro. If you want to vote on decks that you like to see covered in these kinds of videos, as well as some other cool perks and bonuses, consider becoming a champion level YouTube member as well. Again, I want to give a huge shout out and a big thank you to all the folks who do support the channel, and with that, let's take a look at Puppet Aggro. Okay, so Puppet Aggro might be a little bit misleading here. This deck might more aptly be called Token Aggro, but because it uses some of the Digimon Liberator Puppet cards, cut me a little bit of slack. The lower end of the deck is all about either going through your security or your deck to find the cards that you need. For example, the Shumon is going to let you go through your deck and grab the Shumon and the Arisa Kinosaki Tamer. Of the Tamers, actually, speaking of them, these is actually 2 different Arena Kinosaki Tamers, the 3 cost and the 4 cost. For this deck, the 4 cost is the most important one because whenever you would play a token, you can suspend her and that token gets rushed immediately. Meanwhile, the Patamon is hoping to search through your security and find a Digimon card. The Digimon lets you search through your deck for the Trial of the 4 Great Dragons card and other dragons, which is basically just the Goldramon. The basic idea for the deck, though, is actually pretty simple. You want to get down a 4-cost Arisa Tamer and a Goldramon on the board. Goldramon, whenever you evolve into him or play him, he's going to let you play out 2 tokens. One has Rush, but the other one doesn't. It has Blocker instead. So what you can do is you can rest the Arisa Kinosaki Tamer and then give the second one Rush immediately. You can then attack with both tokens and then evolve the Goldramon into the Goldramon X Antibody, who's going to let you do the same thing again and generate 2 more tokens. That Goldramon X is also going to let you play down an option that's either a 4 cost or lower or a Trial of the 4 Great Dragons trait, which lets you play pretty much any of the options in this deck. So you can use it pretty flexibly in either deleting Digimon by DP-minusing them or setting up a Trial of the 4 Great Dragons option card to play down a Goldramon like for free. The cool thing here is that if you play down the Trial of the 4 Great Dragons using that first stack's Goldramon X effect, and you play down later on another Goldramon, because you have the Vdramon in sources, that Digimon gains Rush. And also looking at the level 5s, you get a little bit of protection thanks to the Chaperomon's Inheritance effect, where whenever it would be removed from the board, you can just remove a token or a puppet and it would stay. So if you're like me and you like really aggressive decks, but you're looking for a way to make the yellow Liberator cards really useful, this is definitely a great option. And so with that, we're going to wrap this video up. Keep in mind, next week, again, no meta report, we'll do that a little bit later in 2 weeks. Also, if you're living in Italy or you know about the Italian scene, let me know where to play games. I'm going to be around like Rome and Naples for most of my time there. Also, let me know what your spicy ideas are for these new dual color memory boosts. Personally, I'm really looking forward to trying it out with Ragnarlore, but I know there's lots of other options out there. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Before you get out of here, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.